Hey guys, bit of a selfish one today. I've really wanted to work on my front splits and I wanted something that was short that I could do every day or every other day in between some of my work, clients, classes, etc. that would move me toward my goal. So here we go. This is for me, but hopefully you guys enjoy it too. You're gonna need two things for this. You're gonna need a pair of yoga blocks and a slider. So if you don't have a slider, if you're on hard floor, use a towel. And if you're on carpet, you can use a piece of cardboard. We're gonna kick things off with a kneeling sprinter stretch. So let's start in push-up position. Bring the left leg forward beside the hand, drop the back knee. And then from here, we're gonna come back into a hamstring stretch and then shift the hips forward, drop the hips towards the floor and look up to stretch the back hip flexor. And let's just go back and forth. Getting warmed up. Okay, we're gonna go right into a half split. So let's come to a tall kneeling position and send the left leg forward. And we're gonna bend and stretch this left hamstring. Really focus on trying to keep the back as straight as you can, like you're just sticking your butt out. And if you can, bring the hands to the floor. So here we go. Get into it. Make sure you're stretching with intensity today. Since it's short and sweet, the holds are only 40 seconds. We want to put a good amount of intensity to get the most out of it. All right, and we're gonna switch sides. So let's right leg with a kneeling sprinter. And we're gonna be rocking back and forth, getting the hamstring and hip flexor warmed up. And we'll go right into a half split. So go ahead and get ready. 2, 1, and here we go. So send the back, hips back for the hamstring stretch and forward for the hip flexor stretch. Move pretty quickly for this first one just to get things warmed up. All right, we're gonna move right into the half split. So tall kneeling, have the right leg out in front, and then we're gonna stretch that hamstring. Again, try to keep the back nice and flat and stretch with some intensity. So squeeze the thigh. We're gonna get ready here. And let's go. Right. We've got some elephant walks. Let's come into a standing forward fold. Bring the hands to the floor if you can. If not, you can use your blocks. And then from here, we're gonna pedal the legs out one at a time, stretching the back of the calves. So here we go. Some people may call this the single ladies stretch. Okay, so we've got an upright pigeon. So let's come to a push-up position and bring your left shin across the short edge of the mat and keep the shin parallel with the short edge. Then we're gonna slide the back knee back as far as you can while keeping your hips squared forward. We're trying to stretch the piriformis muscle, and then keep the chest nice and upright and rotate the hips to square forward and sit upright. In an ideal world, you don't need your hands on the floor and you can just sit into it. Almost there. Hold. I'm gonna switch sides. So let's again come into the push-up position, and we're gonna bring the right shin across the mat so it's parallel to your short edge of your mat, and then slide the back knee back as far as you can without rotating. So keep your hips squared forward, and then we'll lift the chest nice and upright and hold. All right, we're gonna move into a lizard stretch. So let's come back to the push-up position and bring your left leg forward beside your left hand. And then from here, we're gonna keep the back knee off the floor. And if you can, bring your elbows to the floor. If you can't reach the floor, you can use your blocks, but keep the elbows to the floor and keep that back leg lifted and push the knees away from each other like we're doing this split here. You'll feel some stretching in the groin, maybe the back hip flexor, outside of the hip is all good. And hold. And to make it harder, you can walk your foot further and further forward. We're gonna drop that back knee onto the floor and if you moved your leg forward, bring your shin back to vertical. We're gonna turn to the left and then grab the outside. So not the inside of the foot, but the outside of the foot. And we're gonna pull the heel to the bum and drop your hip down to the floor to stretch your right side hip flexor. Keep pulling that in tight and feel the right side hip flexor stretching. Switch sides. So let's bring the right leg forward into that high lizard. So if you're able to from here, drop the elbows to the floor. And then to make it harder, you can walk this right foot forward over time. And let's go. Keep that back leg nice and straight. Kick it nice and solid. And let's hold. So let's drop that back knee. Again, if you move the front leg forward, let's get this front shin vertical again. So left hand will be on the floor. Let's turn the body to the right and look back. And then we're gonna bring this left foot and grab the right hand to the outside of the left foot. We're gonna pull the heel toward the bum and drop the hip to the floor to stretch this left side hip flexor pretty intensely. So we're gonna use a block here. So we got the left leg stretching first. So let's bring your left leg out in front, and then this right leg is gonna go out to the side. And if you can, have it go behind your body. And then we're gonna get this front heel up on the block for a really intense hamstring stretch here. So keep pressing this knee down toward the floor and then reach for that really big hamstring stretch. Keep this back leg as open as you can get it. Let's switch sides. So right leg straight and get the heel on the block. And then this left leg is gonna open really wide as you can get it. In an ideal world, this would be way behind. This is one I got some work to do. But nice and open. Press this front knee toward the floor, and then let's stretch. Next up, we'll have some slider work. So let's take the left foot onto the slider. Grab your blocks just in case. We're gonna come up nice and tall into a tall kneeling position. So right knee on the ground, front heel will be on the slider. Try not to let this back leg rotate, and we're gonna slide into the split as far as you can go. Keep the chest upright, and then return by using this back hip flexor. Blocks are here for just in case. Slide into it far as you can go, and then slide out of it. So we're strengthening this back hip flexor. It's a really good way to gain hip flexor flexibility. Keep the torso upright, and up is also by strengthening the hip flexor. Keep moving. Oh, it's on fire. One more here. And we'll switch sides. So exact same thing on the other side. So we're gonna have the right leg out in front and switch to the other side of the mat here. Left knee on the floor. So right heel is gonna be on that slider. And we're sliding into the split and then pulling yourself out of it. There we go. Slide into it. And use this hip flexor to pull yourself out of it. Halfway. It's great if the leg goes out to the side a little bit. It's normal. Keep it as squared as you can, but it's okay if it goes out. All right, that's it's time. So let's lie down on the back. We'll have a quick break before we go into our actual front split. So lie down on the back and we're gonna take the block, just one of them, under your tailbone. Let's start by hugging the left knee into the chest and extend your right leg long and down toward the floor to feel your right hip flexor stretching. So extend, hug the knee into the chest, and feel this hip flexor stretching down toward the floor. A bit of a break before we go into the full split. Do the left leg forward first. And we'll have a little break between the legs with a child's pose on the other side. Awesome, let's go the other side. So hug the right knee, is gonna come into the chest. Left leg will be long to stretch this hip flexor. So extend it, left leg long, feel this left hip flexor stretching. You ready? And let's extend. It's time to split. So we're gonna take the left leg forward. You can use a slider if you'd like. I'm gonna use it. Right leg back, left leg forward. And we're just gonna hold the front split. If you can, try to do it as much as you can without using hands on blocks for support. So I'm gonna do as long as I can without the blocks supporting me as I sink down into the split. And really try not to roll the hips and hold. There, 10 seconds. Hold tight. Oh, that's time. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and move into a child's pose. Let's move everything to the other side because we're gonna do the front split one last time with the right leg forward. And let's sit the hips down into a child's pose for a quick rest. And then we'll do the other side. Make sure you're going with intensity with those splits. There you go. Quick rest. Okay guys, let's go ahead. We got the right leg forward now, left leg back. This is our last movement, last stretch. As I said in the first round, see how far you can go without the blocks for support, but have them there for safety, just in case. And here we go. Into it we get. It's my bad side. Seconds. Oh, That is time. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Hopefully we'll see a video in the coming months with me finally doing the splits. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you guys in the next one.